Get right, too many left in these leagues, but I ain't go.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking nothing, but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, don't roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves.
What up, world? Welcome back to the Get Right Fantasy Network. This is our Sunday morning show with me, Mike, aka Classic Mike. It's Sunday, October 8th, week 5 of the NFL season. Excited to get to all the things that have happened since Friday. We've had a ton going on this week. Today we'll go over, week 5 start sit questions throughout the show, as well as going over active and inactive players prior to game time. There's actually some, new news that just came out like 2 seconds ago. That I want to get to you as soon as possible. I'll give you guys updates on the London game between the Bills and the Jags. Right now, Jags are in the red zone as we speak. They are currently knocking on the door. They're up 11-7 right now on Buffalo. They had a 2-point conversion that was successful and then kicked the field goal. So we'll get to that. We'll get to some DFS value picks. So we have a full show for you today. So make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat as we go. Some big news that literally just came out a few minutes ago. It looks like Chris Olave is testing something out prior to game time. So just keep an eye on that. We'll, as soon as actives and inactives come out, we'll let you know, which should be in a half hour. But Chris Olave was, they showed a video of him, testing something out, in the end zone with one of the trainers. Look. Something like maybe an ankle or something like that. But, Trevor Lawrence. No. Trevor Lawrence, big fumble in the red zone. Looks like Buffalo picked it up. And they look like they're going to just take a knee and go into halftime at this point. It looked like Olave was testing something out with trainers. Did a couple of sprints here and there. That's not good news. Could he play? Yeah. But could he be limited based on the injury and, how much he can go? For sure. So just be aware that is currently, a situation going on over there. We want to be able to, adjust things. I have Chris Olave. I had to kind of adjust my lineup. I'm doing that as we speak, just because, I want to have a little bit more flexibility in my lineup if possible. So just be aware. Just keep an eye out. If you have Chris Olave, definitely have a out. So find something in your lineup that you can make him in your flex spot so that you can kind of get him out if possible. So prior to, I have 2 leagues that I have him in. I keep forgetting I have him in another league. I'm not playing him. That's okay. Oh, I am playing him. That's not good. And I have to kind of resort to violence here and use something that I would never use on a normal given week. So anyway, our weekly show rundown, just make sure you guys check us out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I'm here every Sunday to help you guys out with your last minute start sit decisions, as well as some DFS value picks, actives, inactives, all types of stuff on Sunday. Then on Monday, we're back with overreactions to the week, as well as waiver wire targets. Wednesday night, we have Rasta management, buy, sell, trade targets with Rasta and Frank. They'll help you, with getting your lineups kind of set before the week starts. And then Fridays, we have our game-by-game breakdowns with start sit, questions live that we'll answer for you. So check us out there. Make sure that when you check out the shows, we have, little chapters and stuff that you can look back on, stamps, if you will, to navigate through those games so you can see the breakdown of the game comparatively to all the questions that might be answered. But if you like all the questions, keep an eye out on it. We always try to get to them at the end of the breakdown. Also, keep your eye out for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway video. We are 7 away, if memory serves me right. So make sure you guys get the word out. We are 7 away. We are giving away this ring right here from TrophySmack.com. So make sure you guys check out TrophySmack.com. Use promo code GetRight, and they will help you out at checkout. Also, make sure you guys check out their other stuff too. They have great, belts, trophies, these Kirk Cousins chains, for you to wear if you want or if you need. And they don't just do for fantasy. They do all types of trophies and stuff for everybody all over the place, but mainly they do it for that. All right, let's get into some news and notes around the league. Things that have been kind of, happening within, since Friday when we last spoke. One of the biggest news is Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp. They were both activated off IR, and both should be starting today. Jonathan Taylor ended up getting a 3-year, $42 million extension, which is unbelievable. $26.5 million guaranteed money. So at this point, I mean, he's staying put. I guess everything kind of worked itself out while he was, off. So good for him. Glad everything worked out. So just know that there were reports for Jonathan Taylor that, hold on one sec. Okay. There were notes about Jonathan Taylor about him being somewhat on a snap count. So just be aware of that too. So he should be limited a little bit in the game. They didn't say how much, which means they could probably just use him throughout the game. Just be aware of it though. I would have your expectations lowered, unless he breaks out, but Tennessee is a very tough defense. We'll wait and see if Jeffrey Simmons is going to be available for this game. If Jeffrey Simmons is available, that's when things might change a little bit. That defense is, he's the cornerstone. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. We already got news that T. Higgins for the Bengals has been ruled out with his rib injury. So he will not play today. So that looks like Tyler Boyd could be stepping in for a bigger role today. If you have Tyler Boyd, maybe play him. There was other news this morning about Joe Burrow. Apparently he's not 100%, still isn't 100%, and won't be 100% until probably later into the season. So right now, it's tough. I have Joe Burrow on one of my teams. He's sitting. I have him sitting today. I had him in my lineup for the longest time. I got some that news. Thought about it a couple more minutes. He has a really good matchup today. And I benched him. So I benched him for Jared Goff and, moved on. Goff has been a little more, consistent. I'm sick and tired of these single-digit games. It doesn't make any sense. He's a top 5, elite passer. I took him out. Other guys that we're keeping an eye on is Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, a lot of people thought that he would, a lot of people were optimistic that he would play. Doesn't look like he's playing. He's not expected to play today. It looks like Matt Breida will be starting. So, make sure you make arrangements for that as well. I can't tell you how many leagues that I have, at least one share of Barkley in, just because this is ongoing. He has a high ankle injury. It's just high ankles take forever to recover from. And speaking of high ankle injuries, Khalil Herbert, he's expected to miss multiple weeks. That's expected. Roshan Johnson is in concussion protocol, and Travis Homer tweaked his hamstring. So looks like Deontay Foreman should be the lead guy moving forward. So be aware of that. He is available. They ended up going and get Darrington Evans off of the Dolphins practice squad. So make sure you guys pick him up as well. Some other news that came up last night, Jahmyr Gibbs is doubtful and most likely out for this game against the Panthers. So just be aware, Gibbs is most likely out, as well as Amon St. Brown. So things are going to change. Little things are going to be changing over in Detroit. So be aware of that. It looks like hopefully Monty gets the ball a little bit more. And also for the Detroit Lions, Jameson Williams is expected to play, but he's going to have a limited role, maybe 20 snaps or so in his return from his suspension. So just be aware of it. I'm not loading up Jameson Williams at all. So you want to take a flyer on him in a different league, go ahead. I can't see it. Someone who won't be limited is Cooper Kupp. There were reports from Adam Schefter that he's expected, they expect him to have no limitations. He should be good to go against the Eagles. So if you have Cooper Kupp, feel safe about that. Broncos, they want to work out Javonte Williams first prior to game time. He's a 4:00 game, so you need to have somebody in place if you are planning to play or, might need to use Javonte Williams. I would have somebody at 4:00 or use him in your flex for someone else that's at 4. He's questionable with a quad injury. Pregame warmups they'll decide that. They'll decide then. So keep an eye out. Odell Beckham Jr. is expected to play after spending 2 weeks treating tendonitis in his foot. Okay. Rodney Stanley and Marlon Humphreys should be good to go, which is a good sign for the Ravens and helpful for Lamar. We saw in this Bills game, Von Miller is back. So he's not looking anything crazy, but he is definitely back. So keep an eye out on that. Derek Carr is questionable for today with his right shoulder injury. He will play. He's in a better place health-wise than he was last week with his the AC joint sprain. So be aware. I am playing him in a few places. There's also news this morning that Deebo Samuel is improving, but still not 100% because of his knee injury. He will undoubtedly play. The question is, how much will he be able to contribute? He played 48 snaps last week, but without a reception or a target and just 3 touches. So be aware of Deebo. I'm higher on Ayuk this week. I think Ayuk is in a good spot for this Dallas game. Randy Gregory was the first player the Broncos traded for this season, but might not be the last. Looks like Denver is looking to trade away a lot of their pieces prior to the deadline. So be aware if you have any Denver guys. I'd say Judy, Sutton. Those are the guys I'm assuming they're looking to get rid of. They've been talking about them for the last few months with them in trade talks. So be aware of that. Some other stupid news. Chase Claypool, who was traded to the Dolphins, he's not expected to play today. I'm very surprised that they would even consider it. But yeah, he is not expected to play today as well. So I'm just going to take a quick look to make sure I didn't miss any news for you guys. I want to make sure you guys have up to the minute news. Matt Milano during this game got a really bad knee injury. Apparently he's in a cast already from his shin to his thigh. So it looks like something with his knee. He looked really bad. It like bent in. It looked worse than Chubb. Definitely something going on there. So just be aware. It's sad to see for the Bills defense, but nothing we can really do about that. Zay Jones has a touchdown in this particular game. So Zay Jones looks like he's back to his normal self. Hasn't really impeded on anything for this particular game for the other receivers, really. They've been, Trevor Lawrence has been doing a good job with spreading the ball out. Right now, Kirk has 4 targets. ETN has 4 targets. Ridley has 4. Zay Jones has 5. Ingram has 5. So, out of the 23 attempts, they're passing the ball pretty well all over the place. Everybody's between 4 and 2 receptions, roughly. Everybody above 20 yards. So that's a great thing. Great thing to see that they're spreading the ball out to everybody. We'll see how that changes moving forward. Like I said, they are up 11-7. So we're just waiting to see them get back on the field shortly. These games usually end just before 12:30 Eastern. So we'll try to keep up throughout the whole game and go from that. So Worm in the house going start Zay weekly now. Honestly, I think you could, based on some situations. I think the guy's a top 30 receiver, and most weeks, just because they've been throwing the ball pretty, a lot more than normal. And Zay does a great job. I mean, I've always been a fan of Zay Jones. You know that, Worm. I've always tried to acquire him in one way or another. It's really just the team is so hard to predict who's going to be the leader in targets. And like I said, or leader in receptions, I guess, in this case, because right now, Evan Ingram and Zay Jones both have 5 targets, for 3 receptions and 23 to 22 yards. And Zay Jones has the touchdown. So, yeah, I think he is. That's just me, though. So it looks like Randy Gregory, who was traded to the San Francisco 49ers, he will not be active this week. They're going to wait one more week to get him started. Good either way. It's just another addition to that wonderful San Francisco defense, just more depth. And Randy Gregory is, still an elite pass rusher. Looks like they're kicking back off again in London. Looks like Jags are sending it to the Bills, so Bills will get an opportunity to respond. Bills have looked very stagnant today. They just look very like they're not getting off the field on third down. Or sorry, let me rephrase that. They are not moving the ball and getting first downs. They are pretty much going 3 and out, and they haven't had any real time to get a rhythm going. I was talking with my brother about it this afternoon, and he, the play calling is just boring. You have Josh Allen, you have Stephon Diggs. Use your 2 best guys, like right there. He just passed to Diggs for 12 yards. What a concept! Run with Josh Allen every so often, throw to Diggs, and then run the ball with James Cook every so often to kind of, change things up a little bit, if you will. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So we'll see how this changes. Right now, Stephon Diggs, 5 receptions, 53 yards, and a touchdown. So that's, that's good for him. Jags defense has been swarming the ball, though. They have been in the backfield at one point or another for everything. I mean, every time they just fly in from the backfield. So Jags D, they look good. They look fast. They look healthy. I really do think the Bills are at this point. The broadcast even said they look jet lagged. They look like they're just not in the right spot. And it makes sense. I mean, all these London games, it's 5-hour time difference. It's not like the 2 or 3 that they get when they go to that looks bad for Milano. They have him wrapped up in a brace. Yeah, he's probably done for the year. Sorry, Milano. He is a stud. It's sad to see. There's just been a lot of injuries in this game, so time has kind of slowed down a little bit. This game usually, these games in London usually wrap up pretty quick, but looks like Dawkins, that's not good. For the offensive line for the Bills, he's not feeling good. Yeah, this has been a tough game for the Bills. They've lost like 3 or 4 players to injury, just as just playing. It's sad. Yeah. Let's see how that turns out. Honestly, it's been a good defensive game for the most part. Jags have been actually moving the ball pretty well. ETN is doing pretty well at this point. Trevor Lawrence looks better. He's had rough days, or the last few weeks, he's had some rough weeks. But yeah, they look pretty good so far. Bills have looked not like they did last week. They last week they looked stellar against the Dolphins. This week they just look like crap. Get him. Oh, lucky throw there. Lucky throw. He was lucky to get that thing off on third down. They came at him with everybody. Oof. Anyway. So I'm just waiting for actives and inactives to get thrown in. They should be coming in any minute now. We are keeping an eye out on Chris Olave, who was reported 2 minutes ago to me that he was testing something out in pregame warmup with trainers. That's never a good sign. We'll see if he's active. They didn't list him as questionable coming into the week, so it must have happened recently. We are already expecting Saquon Barkley to be out today. So, be aware of that. Other guys that I can think of off the top of my head, who else is in there? Oh, we already know about Jamar Gibbs and Ahmad St. Brown. They will be most likely out. They are not expected to play. They are listed as doubtful. Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor are both going to be active today and expected to play. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor at this point will be on a snap count. So I know me and Worm, we were talking about it this morning. They will be on it. They will have him on some type of snap count. So lower expectations for him. But could he do well with 10 touches? Maybe. Maybe he's on the field for half the offensive snaps, gets 10 touches, and does okay. But like I said, we're also going to look for the Tennessee actives and inactives to see if Jeffrey Simmons is going to be starting. If Simmons is starting, that's going to be it's going to push Taylor down a little bit. But unfortunately, in some situations, you have no choice. In my Dynasty League that I am in with Worm, that's what's going to be. So Karenith, yes, snap count versus Tennessee's defense. Tennessee has a strong run D. They do, but like I said, for him, for that defense, it's Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is the cornerstone for that defense. You take Simmons out of that defense, you can run on them. Simmons is the one that hits every freaking A gap and basically closes the B gap at the same time. So it makes things where if he's out, they don't really have much behind him to do the same stuff that they normally do with Simmons in. Yes, they are good at stopping the run, but he's the reason. So I would just keep an eye on that. He's questionable. He has been questionable throughout the week. So we'll have to wait and see. What's up, Perry? How you doing, man? Perry W in the house. You go Stafford or Russell Wilson today? That's a great question. I probably would go with Stafford. Getting cut back, I think, is a huge boost for him. Right now, I have him at 16, which is probably a little too low for him. But Russell is at 20, so I feel better about Stafford. The matchup as a whole, against the quarterback. Let me see. Yeah, against quarterbacks, the Eagles are actually 24th in the league. They've let up the 24th most points to quarterbacks. So yeah, I'm going to be okay with Stafford here. Will Hayes, what's going on, man? PPR, David H. Shane or David Montgomery. Oof, I like both. If there's a way to put both in your lineup, both. I would probably say Devon Achane, just because he's running back 2 on the year. You can't not play him, and the Giants just suck at stopping the run. Carolina is decent against the run, but at this point, it's one of those scenarios that David Montgomery is going to be getting like 30 touches again. That's just in his future. Oh, never mind. Carolina sucks against the run. They're 30th. I thought they were, when I was looking at the stats, it looked a little different. But for me, yeah, you got to go with A-Chain until further notice. But David is definitely a high second right there. McLaughlin or Mostert. So we're still waiting on word about McLaughlin. He is in a situation where he plays at 4:00. Mostert plays at 1. I'm just going to say Mostert just because Mostert's in a better offense overall. That game's going to be a little bit currently that game is going to be a little bit wet and wild. Not in the beginning, but towards the second and third quarter and the fourth quarter. Apparently, it's high 80s, and it looks like almost a quarter's worth of rain, if not more, is expected to come in Miami. So just be aware of that. So the run game is probably going to be a little bit more used. So yeah, I'm going to probably go with Mostert with the uncertainty of McLaughlin, just because we don't know what's going on with Javonte Williams at this point. I'm just going to lean Mostert. So Worm goes, who gets hurt more with Cup's return, Tutu or Puka? I think it's Tutu. I think Tutu is the one that kind of takes a back seat. I have to play Tutu in one of my leagues that I'm in. I have to, make arrangements because I had some injuries that kind of mess with things, and Tutu is just my best option at this point. So, yeah, I'm going to go Tutu. I think Puka is going to be the number 2 for this offense, and just they're going to do what they can. I still think Tutu will do well as they go. Puka might take a little bit of a backseat, but I think ultimately it's Tutu. Yeah, no. Don't play Ahmad St. Brown. No. He is doubtful. He will not be playing today. So take him out of your lineup. Ahmad St. Brown will be inactive. For those that missed the beginning of the show, really? Oh, I hope he's okay. Oh, that did not look good. He got crunched. Oh, no. I hope he's all right. That hit looked bad. That looked like oh, no. I mean, he's not on the ground. He's not, dead or anything. It's just he got a real bad hit that, accordion just hit. I hope he's all right. There was a penalty. They got it. I guess he's still playing, but it did not look good. Did not look good. So should you sit Mixon for a chain? I might. This kid is so hard to rank. He's so high ranked at this point. It's hard not to play him because of how good he's been playing. And Mixon is just beginning of the season. I would have told you Mixon, but this kid has been coming up lately. Has been doing well. Ooh, oh, he got hit kind of on the upper back. It looked worse than it was. Hopefully, he's still playing. That looked bad. Boom, defenseless receiver. Sorry, this would be for Ridley. I just want to make sure he's playing. It doesn't look like he's in at the moment, but that's okay. We'll see how they work that out. Big run by Travis Etienne right there. 25 yards. Wow. Good run. Perry, yeah, so Will, I'm sorry. I kind of took your question and ran away. I'd say a chain until further notice, but Mixon's a great grab. Do not get rid of him. If there's a way to play both of them, I would. Mixon is in a good matchup for sure against the Cardinals. So, yeah. Perry thinks 2-2 for sure. Puka runs different routes than Coop. Yeah. I definitely think it's 2-2 way more than Puka. I think Puka is going to he's going to do just fine. I wouldn't stress too much about Puka. Trevor, get up. Oof. Trevor scares me, man. Every time he goes down, it scares me. So Perry goes Breida or Algier. They both have good matchups. I'd probably lean Breida just because he's going to get more of the touch. So it's going good. Thank you for asking, Perry. It's been going good. Nice, easy morning. Waking up to morning, early morning football is always a good thing. Oh, of course. No problem. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that was such a bad fumble. Oh, my God. Trevor had no idea what to do with that. Oh, that was gross. How did that happen? I turned my head for half a second and oh, it was a bad snap that went over his head. He was trying to juggle it, and then he tried to throw it, juggled it, fumbled it, kept on fumbling it, and it just keeps on going. All righty. So we got the Titans inactive list at the moment. It looks like Treylon Burks will be inactive, like we already knew. Will Levis is out as well. I don't see Jeffrey Simmons. So, like we were talking about before for the Colts, I see a lower expectation for Taylor as a whole. It's going to be a tough matchup, and I think it's going to be a situation with Taylor where he's going to have probably a not as good of a game as people want him to, and they're going to get nervous and want to trade him away. You might want to grab him. Looks like no one that I care about here. Full inactives for the Saints. Okay, so it looks like Chris Olave is okay. It looks like they're going to play him. I don't see. Yeah, he's not on that list, which is good. Shaq Griffin is inactive due to a calf injury, so that's bad for the Texans, but nothing crazy. Inactives for Detroit Lions. It looks like Amon St. Brown. We already knew. Brian Branch, he'll be out. Jamar Gibbs is going to be out as well. So all three of those guys are going to be inactive for the Lions. Laramie Tunsil looks like he is active today. Good for him. Titus Howard and Malik Collins, as well as Denzel Perryman, is all active today versus the Falcons. That's awesome to hear. Good for them. That should be good. Josh Reynolds looks like he's active. So if you have Josh Reynolds, you can play him today. He should be a good play. Usually does well. He does better with Amon, but we'll see how that goes. I think Khalif Raymond is a good choice in a lot of DFS leagues and a lot of just other situations. Looks like Connor Smith, Eli Apple, and Cam Smith are all active today. I don't think that really matters for a lot of people. I'm just giving you the news as it comes in, my friends. Just want you guys to have the best up to the minute. OBJ is active. Good for OBJ. Worm goes on DeAndre Hopkins or Michael Thomas. That's a good question. I think I'm going to lean more Michael Thomas with that injury news with Chris Olave, just because if he's hurt, the next guy is definitely Chris Olave. What's up, Warrior Loft? Glad to have you in the house. Just got word that Jonathan Taylor is officially active. He will be playing today. But like I said, he is most likely on a snap count and going against a really tough run defense. Ronnie Stanley is active for the Ravens. So is Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Williams. They're all active today. That's a good thing. They need them very badly. The Ravens have needed help on their secondary for the last few weeks. So that should be, that kind of downgrades some of the Steelers receivers. Yeah, all right. So Calvin Ridley right now is being evaluated for a concussion. He took a big hit before, like I mentioned. So he is in concussion protocol. Well, sorry, he's being evaluated. He isn't in concussion protocol. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. J.C. Jackson and Jonathan Jones are active for the Patriots. Okay. J.C. Jones just got traded to the Patriots from the Chargers. Whole story on that. Go read it. It's really crazy. It's something about he didn't like the cold or something, and you're going to New England. I don't want to hear it. This guy's just been, all these guys that have been traded are just ridiculous. Him and Chase Claypool. Anyway. So Warrior Loft goes no Reed, Sutton versus the Jets, or Josh Reynolds versus the Panthers. I'm gonna see. I want to lean Sutton, but it feels like a trap. It just feels not great. But big catch by Stephon Diggs, 47-yard catch. Good for him. It was a great catch. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lean Sutton. It's hard to trust Josh Reynolds right off the bat. Him being injured, he'll be the lead guy. Hopefully the team can establish the run, and if they can, then they probably won't use Josh as much. I think if anything, it's going to be a little bit of more of a shootout for the Jets-Denver game, if anything. So I'm going to lean Sutton. Patrick Lario in the house going, yo, go Big Blue this week. They'll beat Miami and lose the next two, most likely. That game, if anything, feels like a trap game for a lot of people. Dolphins, they have inactives. Jalen Phillips is out, which is good for the Giants. Kelvin Joseph and a few other guys. No one really cares. Steelers don't have anybody significant that we care about. Nobody on no one else has come through that is really well, looks like Barkley is inactive. They just posted that, so he will be inactive today officially. So be aware. Giants have Barkley out, McFadden out. Oh my God, Michael Schmitz, Shane Lemieux, Andrew Thomas. Oh, that game is going to be a brutal one to watch. Yeah. Sorry, Patrick. We're both gonna have a rough day. So Patrick goes, pick one: Michael Thomas, Najee Harris, or Rashid Rice. I'm gonna have to lean I'm gonna have to lean Michael Thomas. He's the best out of that group, and on top of that, at the beginning of the show, I was telling you guys, Chris Olave looks banged up. He was with trainers. Something happened. I don't know what. They haven't really talked about it or gone into detail. I just saw a beat writer throw it out there, had a video of him running routes, and he looked like he was wincing when he was running. He is active. They didn't say that he was inactive, but just be aware. Ramondre Stevenson is active. For those who are unsure, he is active. Looks like Riley Reef will make a season debut at tackle for the Patriots as well. They needed a left tackle. Yep, we already know about that. Ian Rappaport telling us things we already know. All right, nothing else really is there. Warrior goes right. Reynolds is not 100% either. Yeah, he's not 100%. He will give it a go. I just see what they did. I honestly, yes, Jonathan Taylor is active. So he is active today. So be aware. I see this Carolina and Carolina and Lions game. It's just going to be run the damn ball like they did last week. I mean, they've had a full 10 days to get everything going. He's good to go now. So for me, I just feel like they're going to just run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. I got to get that gift in here so we can just use that all the time. That's all they got to do. Run the damn ball and they'll be fine. Defense looks good. So yeah, for now, Reynolds is tough to gauge. If you're in a rough spot and you need a spot start for this week because of buys, then I would play Reynolds, but I would definitely play Sutton over Reynolds in this case. So Nothing really going on in the Bills-Jags game. They keep going back and forth. Defense has been huge. Other than that, let's get you guys some DFS value picks. Keep throwing your questions in the chat. I will get to them. Don't you worry. So we're going to start with some QB. Hold on one sec. Got to throw that up. Keep forgetting to throw that up while the show's going on. Let's get you guys some DFS value picks for this week. You can have guys like Patrick Mahomes, Hurts, or Lamar up at the top. Even Anthony Richardson, who's been coming up lately. He's been doing a lot better and playing well in the last few weeks. So not horrible choices right here. Tua is in a good spot at $8,000. That's about the line if I'm going higher. But if you want to go with some lower guys, we got Matthew Stafford at $6,800. He's a good choice this week. Another guy, CJ Stroud, who's been throwing the ball all over the place. I mean, he looks real good lately. He's at 7,200. Where is he? There he is. 7,200 today against Atlanta. It's not a great matchup. He's really, the Falcons are a lot better than what people are, that people give them credit for. So just be aware of that. All right. So we got an official actives and inactives, just final rundown. I'm on St. Brown, Jamar Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, and Pat Freiermuth. They are officially inactive. So take them out of your lineup. All right. So like I said, CJ Stroud going against Atlanta is not a bad option. Like I said, Falcons look better, but at this point, it's one of those things where Stroud's been throwing the ball and doing a great job. And they get a couple of good offensive line pieces back. So I expect them to do, play well in this particular situation. Let's go with some. Honestly, there's not really much else. I mean, Joshua Dobbs probably at $6,600 is probably the only other guy I would mention here. Everyone else, it's hard to really trust. So if you don't want to do, if you don't want to play with if you don't want to play with the lower options, go for anybody in the higher section. They actually have pretty decent matchups. Running back wise, let's get into it. A full nother list just for people to be aware. Ramondre Stevenson is active. OBJ is active. Derek Carr is active. Justice Hill is active. Wan'Dale Robinson's active, so that's good for them. Treylon Burks is out. Salvin Ahmed, for those who care. Other than that, we got that whole list out for you guys, so make sure you guys get those guys out of your lineup. If you're just tuning in, please let me know, and I will let you know of anybody that is active and inactive to get your lineups perfect prior to game time. Worm, tell your brother to take out Saquon Barkley. Anyway, let's get you some DFS value picks for running backs. Oh, no, Trevor, no. Oh, good. Ridley's back in the game. It looks like he has cleared concussion. Well, cleared the evaluation for a concussion. Dude, come on now. Don't start. Don't get a flag. Not worth it. Not worth it. Running back value picks. My favorite is right now Joe Mixon at $7,000 going against the Arizona Cardinals. He's been playing well lately. Total volume play, gets a ton of touches. Great value. Joe Mixon, throw him in your lineup. Breece Hall right below him at $6,500 going against the Denver defense who can't stop anything. So just their defense is just Swiss cheese, run through it. They're definitely a good add today. Another guy to add if you want to if you want to go high and then have a couple guys on the low end, one is Tyler Algier going against the Houston Texans. Houston Texans are, a pass funnel defense, which means you can run on them all day long. They try not to give up too much through the air, but decent value for where he is, $5,800. Take a look. Someone that I forgot to mention a little bit higher is James Conner going against the Cincinnati Bengals. $6,500 is actually a really good price for him for the amount of value, the amount of volume he gets. He averages 12 points per, week. Throw him in your lineup. He's definitely a good value for this week. Some wide receiver targets for you this week. You got the big three up top with Cooper Kupp just below, AJ Brown in there. Even Puka is poking his head out right there at $8,000. But if you don't want to go with those particular choices, this is the lowest you're going to see Garrett Wilson in a while. Going against Denver, they've been having a rough time stopping anybody. Garrett Wilson this week might not be a bad option. Zay Flowers is another guy that I would target as well. Zay Flowers is at $5,900. Where is he? There he is. Zay Flowers is a good choice this week as well. One guy that I would mention is Tank Dell at $6,000. He has a rough matchup, but I have this feeling about Tank Dell this week. Just be aware. I think that he's the guy this week over Nico Collins, even though Nico Collins is still playable. I do think Tank Dell could have a day. Zay Jones just limped off the field. He's being helped by being helped to the medical tent. That sucks. He just came in and had a touchdown. So if you played him, I'm sorry. Other guys, and I'm going to mention him. I'm going to mention him until the end of time because his value is just so low and he's so involved. I mean, if you look at all the other people around this particular spot, I mean, you got Mims in here. I think Wan'Dell's a good choice at $5,400. They have a really rough time with stopping the slot receiver for the Miami Dolphins. Nick Westbrook-Akine, $5,500. Going against Indianapolis, who has a rough time. He is a steal with Treylon Burks out. He has been getting those second things. Oh, okay. Looks like one of the defensive players for the Bills. No. I got word of Zay Jones, and then they also had the Johnson, I think he's a safety or nickel for the Bills. They have a cart coming out for him. That's why they're on commercial. But yeah, it both had injuries. My other guy is Rashid Rice. He is playing today, and he is low on the totem pole. He's at $5,000. If you really want against Minnesota, that's not a bad price point. He's been averaging 6 points a game. If you want to take a flyer, if you want to spend a ton of money at the top, looks like he's able to walk off alone. Okay, so he's back up. He's walking. They have a video of him for Johnson. He's one of their better defensive players. I'm assuming, let's see the play. Ooh, ankle. Okay, he's walking though. Good for him. I'm glad he's okay. I didn't see the play until they showed me the replay. That turf monster. Anyway, let's move on to tight ends. Tight end DFS value picks. You got the big three up at the top. Decent money. I think TJ Hawkinson's probably the better value if you want to go with the three. I don't know why they keep running Lawrence out to the left. It just makes no sense. After that, Laporta's at a decent price at $6,000. I think the best value you're going to get is Dallas Goedert at $5,500. I know his points per game is low, but he has a good value and a good matchup for him against the LA Rams. Tyler Higbee is the other guy on the other side. Philly can't stop tight ends, and he's been getting a ton of targets. I would say he's not a bad value at $5,300. Another guy that I like a lot is Zach Ertz. He's just been a target hog for this Arizona offense. They keep throwing the ball to him and to Trey McBride. So $5,100 is not a horrible price to pay for him. So I like him a lot this week. Another guy I like is Jonnu Smith, averaging 8 points a game, $5,000 if you're looking to spend up on everybody else. That's not a bad value. Him and Taysom Hill are another guy. Taysom Hill's a guy, sneaky play today with Juwan Johnson out. Jimmy Graham's also a good option. They've been targeting Graham a lot, and now he'll get more usage without Juwan in the lineup. Dalton Schultz came on big last week. He could be used, $4,900 if you want to use him. Chig is also a good one, $4,700. Trying to think of anybody else on this list. I don't see anybody that's overly, cheap or that I would use. Adam Troutman might be a sneaky play, but he's been underperforming lately. So I wouldn't suggest him the play, but could be sneaky play. So let's go into the defensive teams. The top are the top. You got Pittsburgh. You got the Ravens going against Pittsburgh, Dolphins going against the Giants, Detroit going against Carolina. These are those are the ones you probably want to target. But if you want to spend less, Saints going against New England, I think is a good matchup for $4,000. The Falcons going against the Titans, that might be a decent pick for you as well, $3,900. And then on the opposite side, the Texans. Texans are a really good pass rush and can do, have been playing well lately. They get Denzel Perryman back and Malik Collins, who are both really good at the interior, really good in the interior part of that defense. So $3,600 is not a bad price to pay for them. I would definitely consider it against Atlanta, who just likes to run the ball and really can't stop anything else. 3rd and 1 for the Jags. Let's see how this goes. Oh, just missed. Did he get it? I think he got it. That was close, though. That was close. So, yeah, these are my DFS value picks. If you guys have any other questions about that, let me know. I will definitely give you guys more advice about that. I'm really enjoying trying to get people together for DFS stuff, but unfortunately, my group of buddies is not into that. They rather win tons of money. Looks like Johnson, who got hurt on the last play or on one of those plays where the cart should have, was coming out for him. Looks like he is back on the field and playing, so he's all taped up. He should be good to go. Did they get the first down? Oh, they did. Jags are on their on the Bills 40-ish. I didn't really get a good view of everything, but I got a sneaky suspicion they are close to their 40. Last I checked, that's about where they were. So make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat if you guys have any other questions. I want to help you guys win your week, so make sure you guys have your questions thrown in there. Also, make sure you guys check out some of our sponsors with Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys check out Underdog's Fantasy, and when you sign up, use promo code GetRight, and when you do, they will match. They will double your first deposit, match what you put in, and I think it goes up to $100. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. Use promo code GetRight, and we will. You'll be helping the channel, be helping all of us out. So make sure you guys use that promo code. Also, make sure you guys are checking out and keeping an eye out for our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We are 7 away, so spread the word, get people to subscribe so we can get up to that 1,000 subscriber. That's one of our big goals this year is to get to 1,000. So let's get up there. We are going to be giving away this ring right here on our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. Once we hit our mark, we want to be able to give that away. And that will be, we're getting that from right here, trophysmack.com. Use the same promo code GetRight, and they will help you out at checkout. They have great things, like I said before. They have that customized ring, like I said. They have the belt. They have trophies. They have chains. So make sure you guys check them out. One of the best places. They're a great group of people too. So definitely check out trophysmack.com and make sure you guys use the promo code GetRight at checkout, and they will help you out. Also, make sure you guys check out our affiliate podcast as well, the Fantasy Frontline podcast with Tim and AJ, the Checkdown podcast with Cody McGoats and the crew and Shirtless Pat. They are here every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern, so make sure you guys check them out, as well as the Deadzone Fantasy Show with Dem Boys. He will be getting started shortly, so make sure you guys check that out, and make sure you guys like and subscribe to their channels. All the links for them are below. It looks like, so news just came out from Mike Garafolo, says not to expect a decrease in reps for rookie wide receiver Puka Nacua. The team believes there's enough passes for both him and Cooper Kupp. So they're going to keep using him as much as possible. Good for them. I hope so. I mean, he's been looking great. So, whew. Dr. Clutch, what's going on, man? Good morning, good afternoon. How are we doing today? Doing good, man. Doing good. Waiting for these week 5 matchups to start. I got to do some adjustments to my lineups, make sure I got everybody the way I want it. Just because, a couple big news things came in. So we want to make sure everybody is good to go. Hopefully, Chris Olave is feeling okay. I'm between Chris Olave and Matt Breida. I know that's a horrible situation to be in, but better to be in that situation than other situations, because I'm getting my butt whooped right now, 71-3 in this league, by good old Tycoon, keeping me humble. But his team is stacked. Guy has one of the better teams in our league and is doing real well. So can't get him on him. Or, can't get on him about that. He does a really good job with his team and keeping up on it. We've been having trade talks ourselves about different guys. So kind of have to be okay with it. Trying to get my lineups set up now that I know all this active and inactive business. Glad that I have that taken care of. Worm, make sure you tell your brother to make sure his lineup is set. This guy can never have a lineup set to save his life. Oh, good. He made arrangements. Smart kid. Oh, God. Anyway, so make sure you guys, if you have questions, throw them in the chat. I know it's a little tough on Sundays with game days, with a game going on. I know a lot of people are watching that over me, which is completely okay and understandable. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I might wrap this up a few minutes early just because of the concept that I don't really have much else to talk about unless you guys have questions, because I'm, really more here for you guys. And if there's not much or anybody in the chat that has anything going on, that's completely okay. That means you guys are set and have your lineup set. So that's good. So Dr. Clutch does have a question. He has a 10-man PPR, pick 2, wide receiver, and a flex. Okay. Pickens, Hopkins, Tyler Boyd, Addison, Mostert, and Dameon Pierce. Okay. So pick 2 wide receivers. I'm going to pick Tyler Boyd, and I think I'm going to pick Tyler Boyd. And do I want to go with Pickens? I think I might go. I'm going to go D-Hop and Tyler Boyd for this. I do like Pickens. Oh, no. Trevor Lawrence fumbled. Oh, they've been moving the ball so well today. God, Trevor, you got to keep a hand on that ball, man. I'm going to go Tyler Boyd and Hopkins here. And then for flex, I might go with Raheem Mostert, even though I like Dameon Pierce. I think Falcons have a good run defense. Giants do not. So I'm going to go Mostert here, D-Hop, and Tyler Boyd for those 3. Hopefully that helped you out. I'm in similar situations and other things with Mostert. So I have Mostert playing in a lot of leagues, unfortunately. It's, That game's going to be a little wet and wild too, so just be aware. They're probably going to be running a ton, even with the chain and him. So I think that it's just the best option at this point. Bills get the ball on their 32, and let's see if they can get a pass off. Yep, there we go. First down. Whew. And then the house. Oh, you gave me this question last night, and I didn't get up. I didn't give you an answer. What up, Rasta? Waking up over there on the West Coast, finally, 9 o'clock in the morning. I wish I was able to sleep in until 9 o'clock in the morning today. Wasn't able to. So pick 2. Cup, Puka, and Collins. I would maybe be diverse and go Cup and Collins because they already said that, for now, they're not, they don't have any limitations on Cup. They just also said that Puka should see the same amount of snaps, but that doesn't mean he'll get the same amount of targets. I think Collins is going to have a down game comparatively to an up game. So these are 3 guys that are really hard for me to gauge. I'm going to go Cup. I'm going to go Cup and Collins to spread it out. I don't like relying on one game for all of my points and all that. Like they need to pass the ball like 50 times for that to even be a relevant answer. Like to have Puka and Cup have a, crazy game is less likely than to have one of the two do well with, comparatively to the other game. So yeah, I'm going to go Cup and Collins. So good luck on that matchup there, Rasta. I hope that helps you out. Oh, Dawkins is just they keep pushing him, and he's got that ankle injury. So he's been having a rough time. Dr. Clutch goes, agreed on starting Boyd, just debating the choice between Hopkins and Pickens because Hopkins hasn't done much. I completely agree. Those were the 2 I was going against, like in my head. Is it Hopkins or Pickens? Hopkins is the better option with Burks out, and that Indy defense isn't great against the pass. Let me hold on one sec. Just want to make sure. Okay. So let me break it down for you real quick. Let me see if I can find. I'll go full actually. Wide receiver. Indianapolis is 31st against the pass. Now, I mean, that's the hard part here. Indy is 31st against the pass. The Titans are more notorious for running than passing, but if I'm game planning and I see that's like those types of stats, why wouldn't I go against that particular defensive weakness? But it is, yeah. That's the whole point. It's like, it's great that I can see this. I can see this particular, weakness in their defense, but yet other teams tend to just look at the weakness, go, we're going to continue to run the ball. Come on. Like it doesn't make sense when the team is 31st against the wide receiver and you want to just consistently run the ball. And then you look at their defense on running the ball and they're 16th. So, it's one of those things where I rather, in this case, I like Hopkins a little bit more. He's done well with, oh no, Josh Allen, deep throw. Oh, that's an interception. Oh my God. Diggs just wants that back so bad. Oh, it was just a freaking hair. It was such a long pass. That thing was like 60 plus yards in the air. Oh, Diggs had it. Oh, God. Diggs had the catch, and the D-back just ripped it right out of his hands. It's like all four hands were on the ball and just ripped it right out. Oh, wow. Oof. So Dr. Clutch goes, also, Eagles defense good to start against the Rams, or should I scoop somebody off waivers? Who are you scooping off waivers that would be better than the Eagles? Like, who's available that you would pick? I don't see it. I would play the Eagles, even though it's going to be a good game. Stafford still prone to getting sacked. He's not good at kind of getting out of the pocket, and Eagles are still good enough to kind of keep him in it to, get him sacked. So I wouldn't play anybody over that. I think I would keep it, but I understand in situations where if you have like Cooper Kupp and you're playing the Eagles, you don't want that. So I completely understand that, but it's one of those scenarios where they're good. Just leave them in. G-Hop goes, bro, Lawrence is killing me. My team with 2 fumbles. Yeah, he's been having a rough game with those, but he's been passing it pretty well. He's still 12 points, though, which is good. I think he's more in my league because I had him at 20 points. But looks like Dalton Kincaid is being evaluated for a head injury. Well, that stinks. Hopefully he's okay. Dr. Clutch goes, the highest projected on waivers include Colts, Chiefs, Packers, Titans, Texans. I might just hold on to them. Yeah, there's no point in dropping the Eagles for one of those guys. I'm sorry. Like, if you had like an open IR spot and you have a play on your team get dropped down or whatever, I would probably go with maybe the Texans and just have a second decent defense, or if you're trying to block a team that has it, or that needs it. But other than that, no, just keep your Eagles defense. So Anthony I mentioned Friday, I'm starting Dobbs over Waddle. Thinking the game script won't allow Waddle to have a big game unless he does it early, as they won't need to pass again against your Giants. What do you think? I don't hate that thought process. It's going to rain a ton in the second, third, and fourth quarter of that game. They said almost a quarter inch of rain. So it's going to be rainy. It's going to be wet. It's going to be gross. So I'm okay with that concept. Dobbs seems to be the number one target there. So, wow, 2 guys able to return from concussion or from head injury things. So Kincaid is back in the game as per the Bills PR staff. So yeah, I don't hate that. I really, game script is something very small that I look at when it comes to certain guys. Waddle is just a strong talent, and we saw what they did against the Broncos, where they didn't let off the gas at all. They pretty much just kept going, and they kept everybody in for 3 quarters. So I don't think game script has a ton to do with things like that. Hill had a game, Waddle had a game that week. So I wouldn't stress too much. Who is getting work done? Is that Trout? One of them's getting work done. I don't know who it was, though. One of the linemen, maybe. Or was it ETN? I couldn't tell. Maybe it was Zay Jones. Someone was getting work done with the massage gun. So, all righty. So if people make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat. I'm going to start wrapping up soon if we don't have any other questions. Make sure you guys check out our affiliate podcast, the Frontline, or the Fantasy Frontline podcast with Tim and AJ, the Checkdown podcast with Cody McGoats and Shirtless Pat. They are on every Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern. So check them out, as well as keep an eye out for Dem Boys and the Deadzone fantasy show. He should be coming out with content shortly. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for all 3. And make sure you guys like and subscribe to their channel as well if you haven't already. All their links are in the description below. So make sure you guys check them out. Make sure you also check out our sponsors over here with TrophySmack.com. Like I said, keep an eye out for our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We are 7 subscribers away, so make sure you guys get your friends involved. Make sure they can like and subscribe to the channel. And we are going to be giving away this ring right here for our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So make sure you guys check that out. It is a beautiful ring. Can't wait to actually get to see it. So make sure you guys check out the channel. We are so close to getting there. So Dr. Clutch goes, I'm thinking I'm in need of a receiver. If Mostert has a big week, I might sell him. I wouldn't blame you. I would. If you're in need of a receiver, you could probably get somebody in the, I think you could get someone in the top 20, top 20 range roughly. Maybe Jacoby Myers. Nico, oh no, Nico's too high on the list. Maybe Zay Flowers, Adam Thielen, Pittman. I think those guys are people you could probably target for Mostert at this point. Oh, Trevor. Oh, how did you get out of that? There's probably holding on that play. Oh, crazy. So Dr. Clutch goes, Higgins, Hopkins, Pickens, Addison, Dotson, Boyd is my receiving core currently. Just figured nobody buying Mostert after last week. Yeah, you're in need of somebody. That makes sense to definitely find somebody out of that group. I mean, Higgins is he's a great option, but you definitely need somebody else to kind of help just because that, it's tough. I have T. Higgins in a few spots, and I'm a little disappointed in his usage. So hopefully I can get a return soon. So hopefully he does well near the end of the year. Hopefully Burrow can get out of his funk today. I want to see him do better. Hopefully he does well. Wow, these Buffalo Bills are just making Trevor Lawrence go crazy. He doesn't know what to do back there. I like Lawrence. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap this up right now. So make sure you guys check out all those affiliates I mentioned before. Make sure you guys check out our sponsors at both Trophy Smack and Underdog Fantasy. Please use the promo code GETRIGHT when you do, and they will help you out at checkout. So for my boys over on the West Coast, Mr. Anthony, Dustin, and Frank, I hope everyone has a wonderful week 5. Good luck in all your matchups unless you're going against me. And, enjoy the Jags and Bills game as they round up with 9 minutes or so left. Trevor throwing the big ball. Just missed it. Well, have a wonderful week 5. Hopefully everybody has off for Columbus Day and gets to enjoy a day off. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Peace.
Wanted to white fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided.